Steam locomotives were some of the most powerful machines ever built. They pulled trains that fueled our imagination. They represented vision, collaboration, ingenuity, customer service, and extraordinary human achievement. But in order to get to their destination, it took someone guiding them through a series of switches in order to get to the main line. Just like leaders today, it takes someone directing them down the right path in order to get to their destination. Welcome to Mainline Executive Coaching ACT, which stands for and Cultural Transformation, hosted by Master Certified Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaches Maikel Bailey and Rich Barron, with over 50 years of successful cultural transformation and quantum leadership development between them. Brought to you by Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching, the world's foremost authority on cultural transformation and intelligent leadership development. Once again, thanks for joining us and enjoy today's show.
Thank you. This is Mainline Executive Coaching ACT. We are glad that you're here. We are glad that we are here, and we are glad we have this opportunity to do some work together about leadership, about culture, about what these things do together or don't do together to make an environment, a culture, an organization great or not so great or even terrible. What is the magic secret sauce here? So we're going to take a look at this as we're going to be talking about the number two reason that that there's a problem that employees have with leaders, and it is support. What's the number on that one? When you take a look at that number that we've been talking about, it's 16 something, 16 point what?
I don't remember, but it's right behind that. The first one was at 18 times. Support is about 16 times more an indicator of employees' view on leaders or their culture in general.
Yeah, and that 16 times is huge. I mean, whether it's 0.4 or 0.5, whatever it may be, it's still huge. So we're going to take a look at this today, and what we're going to look at, leaders and managers, are these areas that there might be some deficits, to give you an opportunity to go out and start asking, checking, doing some checking on yourself, and maybe have some close compatriots in your organization that can give you some feedback on that. So if you'd share, I can bring this up.
Yep.
All right. We're going to start this. All right, slideshow. And home.
All right.
Reverse swap.
There we go.
All right. How about that? I'm getting very good at this. It's taken a while. Why leaders fail. Reason number two. Why leaders fail and managers fail. The lack of support. That's where we start at. And again, this is this study that was done by MIT, SMR, Glassdoor, Culture, 1.4 million reviews on this based on their findings. So let's start taking a look at some of the essentials here. Lack of support. What does lack of support mean? It's missing, it's absent, it's not even there, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of like, a relationship when you're abandoned, or you're just neglected. It's very hard to determine, well, what's wrong in this relationship? I'm not quite sure. She's not around. He's not around a lot. They never call. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know how to deal with it. It's just missing. It's just missing. And it's a weird thing for human beings to have. You're expecting something, but it's just missing. Well, what are some of the reasons? Well, leaders, managers, you may not be aware that it is missing.
Exactly. You
may not, what's the problem here? I thought everything was just fine. Another one may be this. You've never been trained in the need for it. You've never been sat down by your boss, your manager, your supervisor, and said, listen, this is pretty important stuff for you, for your team, for everybody here. This is something you really got to do here.
I think you just hit on something really big there.
Yeah.
Maikel, it's support is for you as a leader as well. You need to understand that you're being supported as a leader by the people that you work for, the people that you answer up through. How many times have we seen that as a big issue right now with emerging leaders? not having the
huge.
support of the training, and how fast they burn out. Leadership turnover is at an all-time high, and one of the primary reasons is for lack of support for emerging leaders.
It is huge. Organizations worldwide recognize that 61% of the organizations recognize that it's vital that they have leadership training provided for their employees, the leadership coaching, and yet a lot of them struggle with actually how to deliver that.
Yep.
They'll do the book of the month club, and then they'll get everybody together and they'll talk about it on a Zoom call, or they'll talk about it in a conference room. Okay, well that's okay. That's a good thing, once you've got some momentum going. Or they'll have, these training boxes, or a box on the shelf kind of a thing. That can be helpful. Some level, people feel pretty comfortable with that. But here's the point, though. Here's the real point. The retention that you get from reading a book, or the retention you get from doing a leadership, in the box off the shelf, tends to be pretty low. I mean, it's like really low. I think it's like in the teens, if it's even that high. So people go through it, but they don't retain it. Which means they really don't integrate it. They don't know how to actually put it into practice. A few will, but most will go through it, and then 6 months later it'll be as if they had never even done anything about it. So again, what's your need? What's your team's need? If you aren't getting your needs met as a leader, you're certainly not going to be able to turn around and give it to your team.
Exactly.
And so the whole organization, may not be really aware of that real need for the training. They'll probably train on production work, things that, how to just produce things, get things done. But we're talking about management. We're talking about leadership, the stuff that really holds the team together. They just may not know.
Yep.
Another one may be this: you think you can't. I couldn't do it. There's no way I can do it. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. Can't do it. It's not likely you're going to try. You won't have any confidence, even in attempting to do it. You might be aware of it, but you just don't think it's important. They'll be fine. That kind of a thing. It's, to do training, you really got to put some time and energy into the preparation, the practice of it, and then the actual delivery. It takes time. And then you could do all that work, and if it's not really done well, it's kind of a fiasco.
Yeah.
And if it's a fiasco, I'm not going to do that again. Yep. Right.
You hit on something really important here, Maikel. In this last bullet point, think you can't. How many times have we worked with people that have this fear of actually talking with others?
Yeah.
Whether it's one-on-one, or whether it's a group, or whether it's a team, you have this fear that you think you can't do that. And it comes with practice. That comes with practice. It comes with working on that ability to speak with people, to support their needs. And how do you really do that if you're afraid to actually converse? We've seen that a lot of times.
And here's something to add on to that. You would be surprised, folks. You'd be surprised about how many people in high C-level positions don't know how to do that. They don't know how to go out and really address a group of people. If they do, they may be kind of slick about it, and maybe just kind of a show. They've been able to polish here's how I give a talk, or how I do a little presentation here. They may be really good at that. But there's also not only information and, telling you what's going on, there's also that ability to connect with people. They may not really be very good at really connecting with individuals. What were you saying? There were some people that you were working with, they'd never walk the floor when people were there.
No, not when people were there. They didn't. They would not walk the floor when people were there. They would wait till after hours. When people weren't there, then they would walk the floor to see how things look. But that's not the important time. The important time is when the people are there, when the work is being done, when you have the ability to actually talk to people and see how they're doing, and find out a little bit about their job. Let them teach you a little bit.
Yeah. Now, these are people, when we're talking about these kind of folks, these are people that could be making 10, 20 times what you're making.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they're pulling down some big dough, and they've got the position, And sadly to say, they really don't know how to relate to individuals that are working for them.
Yeah.
They just frankly don't know. And so that creates a lot of problems in the team itself, in the organization. A lot of siloing, like you talked about, a lot of distrust, a lot of, lack of motivation of, why am I even here? What's the point? Just a lot of disgruntled feelings and attitudes. Then this one over here, they just won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't care. That's what it comes down to. So here's our invitation to you, leaders. Where are you?
Yeah.
When you take a look at this, these are PowerPoints, talking points, but they're also a way for you to take a quick look at assessing you in terms of your support. Do you understand what it is? Do you really get it? Have you been shown how to do it? Maybe you just don't know how, think you can't do it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff tied up in this. I mean, maybe we could unpack this stuff and really go deep into it. We won't do it here. Maybe you just don't think it's important, just do it. You tell them what to do, and they should be able to do that. Maybe just no matter what they do, I'm not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Take a look at that, because this will tell you a lot about your leadership potential, your real desire to lead other people, where you feel maybe that you're entitled, or maybe you feel like, I really do want to make a significant difference in my team and what it is we do here for the organization. That'd be a good self-check if you do it. Takes a lot of courage, though.
It takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of humility.
Yeah, humility and honesty. Yeah, really does. Really does. Let's go to the next one here. All right, startling facts. Just some startling facts for you that may be startling to you. That is, team of 10, 1 to 2 team members have leadership talent. If you have a team, and in that team, on average, there will be 1 or 2 people in there that really have some leadership or management talent. Yes. They really have that. Now, the other thing about that is this is kind of also interesting. Only 18% in leadership or management positions have the talent to lead or manage. So the people that actually have the talent or the management abilities or talents to lead the team or manage the team, only 1 out of 5 times are they actually in the leadership or management position.
And that's, as startling as people might be listening to this going, no way. No, that can't be an actual fact, but it's time and time again, Harvard Business Review, Korn Ferry, MIT, name it, all these different magazines and surveys that we read, time and time again, it talks about a true lack of leadership development in management positions. Although there's a lot of managers out there, a lot of people in these positions that call themselves leaders, but they have never truly taken the opportunity to hone their skills. Or they work for an organization that puts them in these positions who has never taken the opportunity to build their teams up and develop them.
Yeah, it may be not based upon merit.
Yeah.
It may be based on a whole other things, favoritism, politics. I can use you as a pawn. Oh, it's your turn, kind of stuff. There could be a number of reasons, but it may not be based upon merit. Now, here's the thing about it. If you notice, leaders, that maybe you got there for whatever reason, and it wasn't really meritorious in terms of how you got there. It wasn't, you earned it. You mean you really did? You really paid the price? You can still then take the initiative and be that person that says, okay, I'm not going to just settle for that just because I was given it. I'm going to go out there and get the training that I need.
Yes.
I'm going to get the real coaching that I need to be a well-grounded leader, so that I understand what it really means to be, a leader of real character, a leader who can really bring something of confidence and determination to the organization. That's what we do. Just because somebody has a leadership position doesn't mean they have all the pieces in place to lead. What our experience is, there's a lot of fear that goes on, a lot of doubt, a lot of worry, a lot of uneasiness. That's why the burnout rate is so incredible.
It's
incredible.
And especially in emerging leaders, we see this.
Yeah.
Burnout rate because they feel overworked, overstressed, undervalued, and they simply burn out.
Yeah,
move
they
on.
don't have the foundation. They
Yeah,
haven't ever developed the foundation to be able to persist and persevere and endure. And
yeah.
because it's a faulty foundation, after a while, it just starts to crumble and collapse, and they get more and more anxious, and they finally say, "I can't do it anymore." But it's not altogether their fault because they really weren't ever trained in how to do that.
No.
But if you know that there's something more you can do, well, then it kind of behooves you to kick it in gear and go get some help.
Yes.
Otherwise, you really are creating, building your castle on sand rather than on solid rock. Let's keep going here, pressing forward. If you're one of these, that is, if you're one of the 18% or 1 in 5 that legitimately is there and can do the job, now here's what you're going to see. If then your team will outperform other teams by 48%. The benefit that you bring to your organization,
Absolutely.
your company, will be 48% better than the other teams. Now, so when you take a look at how your team is performing, if you're not one of those teams that that is excelling, good chance that it's coming back to you, that you just haven't gotten that training.
Yeah.
And no matter how long you whip them or whine about them or whatever it is that you think you can do tomorrow, it probably really comes back to you. You just don't have those skills in place, the character in place to be the leader, to lead them with real skill, with real clarity, with real confidence. And it's not your fault, but it is your fault if you don't do anything about it. You see?
And it's interesting to note that it's a proven fact. Again, back to Harvard Business Review and all these others that we talk about. Companies that invest in leadership development, executive coaching, developing their emerging leaders and their seasoned leaders, seasoned managers, outperform other organizations who don't do that by a substantial margin.
Yeah. And the return on the investment is significant and has a
Yes.
rippling effect throughout the whole organization. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, geez, what am I doing? Dumping money into this? No,
No.
it's an investment that will pay many, many times over the years.
Average return on investment for executive coaching is 7 times.
Yeah, that's significant. Take a look at the next one. Statistically, talented leaders and managers are not in place. That's what we know. They're
Yes.
just not in place. And along with this, let's go to this. Are you the right person for leadership? Let's just do a quick kind of profile here. When we talk about this, and you understand this well, Rich, that ability to look at a team and to be able to individualize, be able to look at the people, it's just not a group of people, it's not just a team, but be able to understand and know each of your people, what they're all about, who they are, how they kind of work. You got to have that ability to be able to take a look at each person and appreciate them as an individual. Tell us a little bit about what you've done as that kind of leader in organizations.
Here's the thing that's always been important for me, and that's to understand who the people are that work for you, that work around you, that you rely on their strengths and their talents to make your organization successful. And it really comes down to simple communication and getting to know them, getting out there, being present, being vigilant, being there to show them that you have their back. And as a matter of fact, in the survey that we were talking about, Maikel, 1.4 million employees reviews, the one thing that they mentioned in lack of support was they wanted to know that their leaders have their back. And that's simple communication, making sure that you're out there talking to them and seeing how their day was, seeing how their weekend was. How's their job doing? What can I support you better in? Do you have the tools to get your job done? And by doing this, you're going to get to know these people. You're going to get to learn like you said, their strengths, their weaknesses. That's not going to happen if you don't open that door and communicate.
That's right. Get to know them personally and understand them and see how they're doing. We've talked that before. Al Fragnoli's been on here. He's talked about, are they on a chess team? Are they on a baseball team? How are they doing in school? They're going to college.
Yeah.
Just that kind of stuff. Just,
individualize. And here's something that's important. I want to go back and talk a little bit about this because there was another, in a book that recently read, it talked about this company who started to see a big turnover issue. And so they focused on going back to day one. Day one, And I cannot stress enough for you people that are listening, that support starts day one, regardless of what level in the company is. That starts day one. So anyway, this experiment, if you will, split 250 people up that were coming in as new hires for this large organization. One group, they just basically went through the orientation, showed them the slides, whatever, and out to the floor, and there you go. The other group, they went through the same training, but they asked them individually to tell us a little bit about who you are. What makes you tick? What why are you here? What makes you the person that you are? And in the end, the one group that was asked to individualize themselves completely outperformed the other group.
And it wasn't just in that moment, it's in the whole onboarding process.
The whole onboarding process. Who are you as an individual? And not only that, I want to tell you, this is where that support starts. Okay. If you started a job and you go home that day to tell your family, okay, your first day, you're going to go home and tell your wife, you're going to go home and tell your friends, you're going to go home and tell those people you're supporting. Well, I started at Acme Company today, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be working in manufacturing, and not really certain what, the company does, but, it's a paycheck. Or are you going to go home and you're going to tell these people, man, I started at Acme today. They're the #1 in the world at what they do. They have this great support group. They've got these mentors. Our products do X, Y, and Z, and they help these kind of people. And, I'm going to be a part of a team that's going to be doing this for other people. Who do you think is going to stick with you longer? Who do you think is going to be more encouraged to give you 100% from the get-go?
Now that's all. Now what's interesting about that is are two things. Some people may go through that kind of experience and they're going, yeah, this is really, really great. I wonder if this is just a dog and pony show.
Yeah.
Are they gonna stay this way the whole time? That's a big issue in employees' management, because they've been burned before and they've been, fooled. We've all been fooled. And here's what it gets back to. If your values, the values of your organization are such that they allow that high touch, high tech, high integration of what's going on, if you allow that in your organization, that's who you are as an organization. And then you bring that forth, as you're saying, from day one, onboarding, the first time they meet, those values are right out there. And people are working the values and they're pulling people into the values that whole time. That's going to be one of the best places ever to work, because they mean what they say what they mean, they tell you what they're going to do, and they do it. There's that level of real integrity that's operating. And we talked about this earlier. What's the difference? What is it you're looking to do to help people feel? And you said one word. What I'm looking to do is to help people feel. Do you remember that word you used?
Yeah, what conversation? I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah.
Talked about safe.
Oh, yeah. Being in a safe environment, that you're safe.
Yeah.
You're in a safe place to give 100% effort.
That's exactly right. And so these leaders, these people that have these abilities naturally kind of do it. They do speak boldly in reviews. That doesn't mean they're being harsh or mean.
No, or speaking down. Yeah.
Not condescending. They'll tell you what it is. But the other part of that is they'll also tell you what they can do to help you to improve.
Yeah.
They'll tell you you're doing really great as well.
Yeah.
They're going to be that person that delivers the truth, but does it in a way that it's palatable for you, so that you can develop your abilities there at work. Also be able to rally the team to its purpose. And then overall get that team to work together, all the individuals working together to execute efficiently and effectively the processes that they're involved in.
Yeah.
That's what you can't get around the fact that leadership and management begin with an innate talent.
Yes.
And sometimes people don't see that talent. They don't understand the talent that they have. They need to work with people. And even the people that are really, really good at it, if they are really good at it, they'll also be humble about it, and they'll want to become better, because that's what they do. They want to become the best that they can possibly be. So,
or they see that talent, Michael. On the flip side, they see that talent and they're afraid of it.
they can be.
They're afraid they're the guy who's coming up behind them to take their job. I got to tell you, I've seen this more and more recently, because there is a lot of incredibly talented, skilled people out there in the workforce.
Yeah.
And man, they're gaining ground fast. The one thing that really is missing, Michael, we talked about this, it's not the talent, it's the heart. Do you really have the heart and the courage to make sure that you're bringing the people up behind you to do the job that you are doing now when you're gone? That's where the true courage lies. Are you training someone to take your job? Are you bringing people up behind you that can take your job? That's important. And that doesn't mean that they're going to, but someday they will. I mean, think about if you're a leader or a manager, think about this. Who gave you your shot? Who took you aside when you were younger or when you were first in the workforce and have these bold conversations with you? Didn't mean they were chewing you out. Didn't mean that they were, speaking down to you. It meant that they were having a bold conversation to get you to the right place.
Because
that's what good mentors and coaches do.
They respect you.
Yes.
Doesn't
mean they're afraid of you or dang it. Here's one of the things we talked about earlier, Michael. This rally to the team to its purpose. This
excuse me. Yeah.
Are you one of these guys, and you've seen the African plains, you got the lions in the grass and they're watching the herd move along, and as soon as one of the weak ones falls out, man, they pounce. Man, that's what they're waiting for. Weak ones to fall out. Are you one of those managers that looks for the weak ones to get behind before you can, woohoo, there's a weak one, man, they're not performing real well, you're fired. You're out of here. But are they the ones, is that really rallying the team to its purpose by waiting for the weak ones to show weakness and their individual gaps before you, and then get rid of them?
So you just want to be a tough boss. You want to show that you mean it. You don't want to be a tough boss.
Or do you have the ability to step in? The other analogy, I talked to you about this earlier, Michael, is that analogy of that wolf pack. Yeah. Now you looked in this and they asked, which one of these is the alpha male? He was the one at the rear of the pack. The weaker ones and the ones that needed to be encouraged the most were the ones at front. And he was watching from behind to make sure that the team, the pack, was in a line. They were aligned. That's two different things, in a line and aligned, and making sure that the weak ones were being pushed forward, being given the chance to succeed. Now it's a little bit different analogy, for what the wolves were. They didn't want whatever to fall behind and get eaten by something else. But the same thing goes with leadership. Rally your team to its purpose. Don't be that guy or that gal that's waiting in the wings to see a weak one to drop out. Man, there's their weaknesses. You're fired. And how many times I've seen this time and time again. Why do you do that? Why do you not take the time to really support your people? It's not about finding the weak one in the link, because you might be the weak one in the link. If you're looking for the weak ones, you might be the weak one.
There's that faulty foundation.
Yeah, because you're in a position. You're in a position to say who's weak when you're out. Who's to say you're not the weak one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your buddies that got you there.
Yep. Exactly. Now I get really. Here's the thing. I get really animated. I'm very passionate about this, Michael. Yeah. I truly am, because I dislike this a great deal for these people who wait for the weak ones to drop back and they strike.
Yeah, they're vicious people. There's no other way to describe it. They're just vicious.
They strike, and they can't even tell you why. They can't even truly tell you why.
Well, I can tell you why, but I'll let you guys figure it out.
Yeah, but they can't tell you. I mean, they can't tell you. They can't give you a real reason, because other than the fact that they're afraid of. They're afraid of being able to show their own weaknesses by acknowledging this person has a weakness. I need to help them.
And it's often the same weakness they have, which is interesting.
Yes, it is. It often is. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to add a slide here tonight, even though we're not fully ready for this, but we're going to put this up here anyway.
Yeah.
So your action steps here, go to our website, and we're going to have these, we're figuring out how to put these worksheets up there so that you can go there and get them downloaded. You can follow along with these podcasts and do some work on your own. Where do you learn the best? Is it in school or is it when you go home? Yeah, learning is good, but where you really nail it down is when you go home and do the homework. We're going to be putting together a newsletter that's going to be going out for the first time tomorrow. I invite you to sign up for that, and then take our free online leadership assessment. That's going to be there. And when you get the email, sign up for our email, you'll be able to just go right there, click on it, and take it. It won't take you long, but it'll give you some insight.
Yeah.
And then you can make an appointment with us as well as you'd like. This next Wednesday, we're going to actually give you a tour of our website so that you can kind of see how it works and where to go to find these different things. So that ought to be a lot of fun. That ought to be pretty exciting to take a look at that. I know we'll be excited. You may not.
Yeah.
We will be.
Yep. So, and I'll put the link up on Buzzsprout and in the video when I put these up. It'll show you where to go to sign up for this newsletter and take those assessments. Gonna put it up there.
Yes, there you go. So it's Executive Leaders, ACTILEC.com.
Yep.
There it is. What was it we were talking about today? I said, who's this? Springville. Was it Springville, Virginia?
It was somewhere in Virginia. Yes, absolutely. I would like to know.
Was it Springfield?
Yeah.
Springfield? I think it was Springfield, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're watching tonight, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Reach out and talk to us. Let's talk. Absolutely.
All right, that's it.
Well, once again, come to the end of another episode of Mainline Executive Coaching ACT, which stands for Cultural Transformation. That's what we do. That's what we're here to help you do. And reach out. Let's talk, and let's get you moving forward. So once again, thank you, everybody. Take care of each other and stay safe until next time.
And all the best to each of you.
With all of the issues facing organizations today, leadership development and cultural transformation are needed more than ever. Go to our website, executiveleadersactilec.com. Book some time with us. Let's sit down and talk and get you on the path to success. This podcast was brought to you by Intelligent Leadership Executive Coaching, ILEC, the world's foremost authority on leadership development and cultural transformation. Once again, for Mainline Executive Coaching ACT, this is Rich Barron and Maikel Bailey. Thank you for joining us, and take care.